Next up is the Arizona Cardinals, and it's our path to the playoff series. And in this series, I will be going to uh, take an optimistic viewpoint of how the Arizona Cardinals can make the playoffs this season. And I'll say the same thing probably every single time. They have the lowest Super Bowl odds in the NFL going into next season. They're much more likely to pick number one than they are to make the playoffs. They are in the hardest division in football with the Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers. But as Scott Van Pelt says, it pays the same to be optimistic. So at least for right now, before the season, or at least before I have to be real, I'm gonna choose to be optimistic. And I'm going to choose to believe that everything is gonna work out perfectly for the Cardinals. And so with that being said, we're gonna get right to the the position group on defense that I think is the biggest reason why the Arizona Cardinals will make the playoffs next season. Hard to say that with a straight face. But their path to the playoff next season is that the secondary balls out, and it's one of the best secondaries in football. And here's how they do it. Will Johnson showcased his first round talent last season. He's going to improve. He's going to become even better. And if they can get the instinctive turnover creating player that Will Johnson was at Michigan, that can swing a few ball games for him. A pick six or a big interception returned inside the red zone. That's the type of plays that Will Johnson has the capability to make, and that's why he was looked at as a first round talent for a lot of his career before injuries. Before the injuries kind of made him drop into the second round. Will Johnson can lead the Cardinals secondary to being one of the best secondaries in football. Not only that, we got some incredible news at the end of OTAs, and it's Garrett Williams is going to be back in fall camp and will most likely start the season. That's awesome. Nickel corner is one of the toughest positions to play in football because you have to be so versatile. And he's been an underrated nickel corner his entire career. And he's poised to have a big year if healthy. Now, moving over to, and not only that, I think out of any guy on this defense, I think Garrett Williams has the best chance to be an all pro at his position. He could be an all pro at nickel corner. He really could. Now, Budda Baker, we know he's the mainstay. He's been with the Cardinals for feels like forever. He's not as beloved as Fitzgerald is, but he's getting into Fitzgerald territory where we know what we're gonna get with him. He's gonna play good football probably until he's 45 years old, however long he wants to play. So Budda Baker continues to play at a high level. Then Denzel Burke continues to play well at corner opposite of Will Johnson. Really, if the young corners can play well and play up to their potential, their ceiling, and become good NFL corners, it's a huge win for the Cardinals. Whether they win games this season or win games in the future, if you have the secondary for the future in Denzel Burke and Will Johnson, you're in a great position going forward as a defense. And last but not least, the Arizona Cardinals signed Andrew Wingard, who was solid for Jacksonville last season to replace Jalen Thompson. Losing Thompson hurts. He was really good, but hopefully Wingard can replace Thompson as well. And they also have depth this season. The Cardinals have Sean Murphy Bunting and Dadrian Taylor Demerson or Rabbit. Both of those guys are solid backup pieces. So while the Cardinals weren't exceptional in the secondary last year and the defense really fell off in the last half of the season, largely due to injuries and just an inability to run the football, so those guys were just always on the field as well. If the secondary plays well, it makes everyone else's job easier. We always talk about in football, oh, a good pass rush to make everyone else's life easier. Well, if you can cover, it makes everyone else's life easier as well. It gives the defensive line, who we'll talk about soon potentially on this path to the playoff series, a chance for the defensive line, once they're all healthy, to give them more time to get after the quarterback. It'll allow the linebackers to play free, fire more in play action, because they know that the guys behind them, they got them. And so they can be more aggressive, trying to stop the run, and less worried about having to play in coverage. I think it's just one of those things where, especially nowadays, where if you can cover in football, you can stop a lot of teams just by having a couple good corners that can lock it down and stop the best two players on the other team. And then it just comes down to, can the quarterback go through and make his third and fourth reads? If a quarterback can, then you need your pass rush to step up. And if a quarterback can't, then he's scrambling. You're creating havoc plays. So the secondary could lead the NFL in interceptions this year. Probably won't, but the Cardinals secondary can be one of the most productive, havoc-causing units in the NFL this season, and that is why they could make the playoffs.